Hey guys, Cart from CQBRadio. Thanks for checking out the review as always. Today we're looking at the SRC RPK. You can get this guy online for around the $230 to $250 mark. And a pretty nice gun. It's made by SRC. Some people put it out, or you'll see it put out by TSD, but it is an SRC gun. I'll show you the trades in a minute. With it, you're going to get what you see here, as well as an extended AK mag, as opposed to this drum mag. So pretty basic setup when you get it in the box. You do have to put a little bit of it together just because it is so long. They usually ship it with the stock removed. It's very easy to put the stock on. And let's look at this guy a little bit more in depth. Alright, starting at the rear of the gun, you can see we have a stock here that is made of real wood. It is not the highest density wood, but it should be solid unless you're really smashing against a tree or a rock or something like that. Up here on the top, you can see there's this metal tab, and there's one underneath here as well. And the stock is going to be separate when you first get it. So you're going to attach the stock, put these two screws in, and then you're good to go. Down here on the bottom, you can see you've got an option to mount a sling, and then up here as well, once you get to the metal receiver. You do have a wood pistol grip, and then I'm going to show you what the back end plate looks like so that you can get a sense of how to put the battery in. But one other thing to note about the stock here is that it does have kind of a slight downward angle, and that's normal. That's true for a lot of AKs out there. They are just built like that. Kind of ergonomically, that's how they were originally formed. So let me take that end plate off and show you what it looks like to get into the battery compartment. Now when I first got this guy, I was actually taking these two screws out thinking you had to do that to take the end plate off and get the battery in. But actually all you do is just press this down, and then the whole thing is going to pop off. And then let me just put this down real quick and then show you. Inside there is where you're going to put your battery. There is quite a bit of space inside. You get your fuse in there as well as the cords. You could fit a large type battery, but I definitely recommend a LiPo or something like that. If you're going to use a LiPo, I wouldn't use a high power one. You want to use something that's not super high power, just by the nature of the gun. I don't think it's ready to handle a super strong LiPo. But you can run a small type battery, you can run a nunchuck in there, and you can fit a large type in there as well. Alright, moving forward on the gun, you can see you have a full metal receiver there. Let me see if I can get this in the proper light so you can see it does say SRC 2006 is the copyright or the construction date for this guy. You got your drum mag down there. I'll explain that a little bit more in depth in a minute. You got your front handguard here, and that is also full metal. Mine was a little scratched up on the top when I got it. You got your standard AK rear sight. This guy, the little slide that runs back and forth in this guy, mine came missing, so a little bit of a bummer, but hopefully yours will actually come with it. Then you got a full metal barrel here. And then you have your bipod. I'll show you how that closes down in 1 second. And then it comes with a standard birdcage style flash hider, but I bought this guy and put this guy on the front instead. All right, let me show you how the bipod works, and then we'll look at the drum mag a little bit more in depth. All right, I've got the gun vertical right now, and I've got the bipod squeezed together. You can see there's this little arm here, and that basically is going to wrap around the far side of this other leg, and that's going to clasp them together. And then when you want to release it, basically you're going to unclasp that little arm, and then there's a spring that will spread these guys apart, and then you're basically going to drop it down, and you're good to go. So this arm is only on one side. When you squeeze the two legs together, it will wrap around this side of the other leg, and it does stay up in place just by how it's made. It does stay up in place, attached to right here, basically on the gun. However, just be aware that that will shake free every once in a while. So what I did is I got a little piece of Velcro, and when the legs are folded together and it's swung up underneath here, I just wrap the Velcro around it so that if I'm moving, it actually doesn't fall down. Alright, I just wanted to give you a real quick shot of what it looks like with the bipod collapsed. As you can see, I'm holding it up here because the bipod's not out, but there's a little kind of notch cut out at the base of the 2 feet, and it fits right there into the onto the rest of the gun. And you know, this guy will pop down like that. That's as far as it'll fall, but that's why I recommend putting that Velcro tab on there to keep it in place, so that when you click it up into there, it actually stays. Over on the other side of the gun here, pretty standard AK features. Pull this guy back, and you've got your hop up inside there to adjust, and then you have your selector switch that goes from safe to full auto, and then down to semi on the bottom. So pretty standard AK features. This guy is obviously, you know, like a support gun for people who want to run with an AK. And let me talk to you about a little bit about the drum mag here. Now the drum mag of this guy is pretty cool. You're going to take this little piece off. It's attached by a bolt down in there, and then you're going to take this cover off, and here's what you see inside. 4 AAA batteries go in this little section. This is just kind of a foam covering that goes on top of it. and then you're going to pour your BBs in here, and then when you press this button on the back here, that will power the motor, which is going to feed the BBs up and into the gun. Now, there is this little lever here that sticks out on the back side of the mag. Let me show you real quick. This little lever, which allows you to feed the BBs and make sure they're going down into the feeder and getting up into the tube. You know, some people have thought about the idea of if you compress this completely and then pour BBs in, it'll kind of slowly feed the BBs in. The concept is great, but the problem is you're like cramming BBs in there. There's BBs falling out all over the place. So I would fill it up. You can compress this guy a little bit, but if you force a ton of BBs into the drum mag and then try to let this guy feed up slowly to pour the BBs in, it's just going to cause problems. So fewer BBs is better. It's going to function better overall. So that's a little look inside the drum mag. So there you have it, the SRC RPK. As far as FPS, it's going to run you in the 360 to 380 range with 0.2 O's. I'd recommend a 0.25, probably something in that range. Slow your FPS down a little bit, but it will give you good accuracy. Because it has that super long barrel, it's going to be you know, a really good support gun, really reaching out and touching people. Don't use it indoors. Obviously, it's ginormous, so from end to end, you're going to be, you know, trying to control this whole thing. Coming around corners, not going to be a good option. Even if you are outdoors in the woods, be careful, you know, as you're moving around trees and different obstacles, that you don't go smashing the barrel and beating this thing up too much. But because it is, you know, a really long gun, it's going to give you good range, like I mentioned. So if you're looking for something in that $250 range or so, and you want to get a support gun and you want to stay in the AK family, obviously this is a great choice. There are some other RPK options out there right now, but the SRC RPK is definitely a nice one. Thanks for checking out the video, guys. This is Clark from CQB Radio signing off. Keep on firing.